Hello and welcome to the Caravan channel. Now in this second episode in our new series, we're going to be looking at some of the developments in the towing world, which means you're going to see an awful lot more of this fella over the next half an hour.
That's right, Al. While you've been off sunning yourself on holiday this summer, I've been grafting away, testing some of the hottest new cars on the market. So for the next half hour or so, you're going to see some of the best and most exciting new tow cars of 2015.
Well, Motti will be back later in the show to test this Seat Leon Experience. But in the meantime, here are the cars we're going to be checking out in this episode. There's the hotly anticipated Land Rover Discovery Sport, the all-new Ford Mondeo, Kia's third generation Sorento, the return of the Nissan X-Trail, the luxurious Volvo XC90, and the rugged Mitsubishi L200.
As you can see, we've got perfect weather for testing a 4x4, and as luck would have it, a 4x4 is what we have to test. The new Discovery Sport is the first of a new family of Land Rovers bearing the Discovery name and replaces the old Freelander. We're going to put it to the test to see if it builds on the old car's strengths as a tow car.
Certainly the Land Rover's facts and figures look promising. The SD4 Auto we've been testing has a curb weight of 1863 kilograms, a legal towing limit of 2,200 kilograms and a nose weight limit of 100 kilograms. The high curb weight gives a healthy 85% match figure of 1,584 kilos. We hitched up to a Swift Challenger 645 SE weighing just over 1,500 kilos and put the Discovery Sport to the test on the road and at the test track.
Stability-wise, the Discovery Sport picks up where the Freelander left off. It feels very secure at the legal limit and will happily tow a big twin-axle tourer, even on a windy day.
The Land Rover makes a decent fist of our lane change test too. The car leans hard when pushed, and on our fastest runs we could feel the Caravan shoving at the back of the car. Even so, the Discovery Sport never let the tourer take charge. The Land Rover is a powerful tow car as well as a stable one.
There's no arguing with the Discovery Sport's performance. The SD4 engine easily copes with steep hills and can make the most of any overtaking opportunity. In other respects though, it's slightly disappointing. Refinement and emissions both fall well short of the best cars in the mid-sized SUV class.
In September 2015, a new engine lineup will address these shortcomings. In the meantime, the Discovery Sport has several advantages over cleaner, more economical rivals. For one thing, most have 5 seats, while the Land Rover has room for 7. The cabin really is one of the Discovery Sport's strengths. There's lots of space in the front and middle rows, and even the third row isn't too cramped if those in the middle don't mind sliding their seats forward slightly. With every seat upright, there's very little room for bags, but folds seats 6 and 7 away, and the boot is a healthy size. With the middle row tipped out of the way, the Discovery Sport rivals many estate cars for luggage space.
It's hard not to be impressed with the Discovery Sport. It tows beautifully and the interior is very practical. When the new engines arrive, a good car will become even better. If you're looking for a family car to tow with, then you're spoilt for choice at the moment. From the Mazda 6 to the Skoda Superb to the Volkswagen Passat, there's no shortage of talented cars to choose from. We're here to discover if the latest Ford Mondeo deserves to be added to that list.
We're testing the 2-litre TDCi Econetic. The Econetic part of the name means that this car emits less than the regular 2-litre TDCi, with a lower ride height for better aerodynamics and low rolling resistance tyres. The legal towing limit drops from 1,800 kilograms for the regular 2-litre to 1,600 kilograms for the Econetic, but the curb weight remains a healthy 1,578 kilos. We've matched the Ford to a Bailey Pursuit 540-5 weighing 1,229 kilograms.
The 2-litre diesel engine is comfortably up to the job of towing the 5-berth Bailey. It pulled it from 30 to 60 miles per hour in a respectable 12.5 seconds, so even when towing, you shouldn't be stuck behind dawdling traffic for long.
The lane change test showed the Mondeo at its best. changed direction quickly and was happy to take the Caravan by the scruff of the neck. Even when the Tourer began to move around behind it, the Mondeo stayed on course. At high speeds, the Mondeo is a relaxing car to tow with. At the legal limit, it feels solid, secure and stable. In fact, so long as you match car and Caravan sensibly and load your Tourer carefully, we can't see you having too many nervous moments. Inside, the Mondeo has always been one of the roomiest and most practical family cars. And although it's not as spacious as one or two rivals, few owners will complain. There's lots of room up front, although the standard of finish doesn't quite live up to a VW Passat's. The curve of the roofline compromises rear headroom slightly, and legroom can't match that of the Skoda Superb, but only very tall passengers will mind. Unusually, the Mondeo hatchback has slightly more boot space than the Estate, at least with the rear seats upright. The rear seats split and fold for more luggage room. Be in no doubt, the Mondeo is a very good car. However, the Skoda Superb is roomier, and the Volkswagen Passat just shades it as an all-round talent. Even so, the Ford Mondeo is one of the very best family tow cars you can buy. The Kia Sorento is one of the heavyweights of the towing world, both literally and figuratively. This is the latest generation of Kia's iconic tow car. It's more economical, it's better equipped, and it's roomier than before. But is that enough to justify the price hike? The Sorento now starts from £28,795, rising to over £40,000 for the top spec KX4. That pushes the car close to prestige badged rivals. Our KX3 manual test car costs just under £36,000, but you do get a lot for your money. There's this 8-inch colour touchscreen with satellite navigation, 8-way power adjustment for the driver's seat, xenon headlights, panoramic sunroof, leather upholstery, and heated front seats and heated seats in the middle row. In fact, the list of standard kit just goes on and on. You get a lot of metal as well as plenty of toys. The Sorento has a curb weight of 1,932 kilograms, which gives a healthy 85% match figure of 1,642 kilos. The legal towing limit is 2.5 tons, and the maximum download on the tow ball is 100 kilos. The 2.2 litre diesel also puts out some impressive numbers. There's 197 bhp, 3 brake horsepower more than before, and 325 pounds-feet of torque, a 14 pounds-feet increase. It's the flexibility of the engine that really impresses. There's so much pulling power, even from low revs, that you can afford to be lazy about changing gear, even when you're towing a big twin-axle Caravan uphill. The strength of the Sorrento's engine was underlined at the test track, where it pulled a Bailey Unicorn Cordoba, weighing 1,590 kilos, from 30 to 60 miles per hour in 10.9 seconds. We'd take stability over performance any day, but the Sorento feels stable and secure at the legal limit. There's little work for the driver to do unless the wind picks up, in which case some small movements of the steering wheel may be needed. The more extreme test of our lane change manoeuvre doesn't always suit 4x4s with their long travel suspension and high centre of gravity, but the Sorento made a decent fist of swerving between the cones. There was a little pushing from the Caravan on the fastest runs, but we never felt the Sorento was about to lose control. Inside, today's Sorento is better finished than the previous generation. It may not match the showroom appeal of the best prestige 4x4s, but the gap is not as wide as it used to be. There's enough room for adults to travel comfortably in the middle row, and the central seats slide forward on runners to give more space to anyone travelling in seats 6 and 7. Grown-ups will be happy enough for short trips, but you wouldn't want to stay back there on a long journey. Boot space is tight with all 7 seats upright, but as a 5-seater there's plenty of space for holiday bags. The original Sorento was much loved by caravanners and offered a lot of car for not much cash. Today's car is a very different beast, and perhaps it's time to stop comparing each new generation of the Sorento with the first. It may not be the bargain it once was, but to my mind, this new Sorento
is the best yet. The Nissan X-Trail has changed. The rugged, chunky look of the old car has gone, and today's X-Trail looks much more like a larger version of the Qashqai crossover. So, has the rough, tough X-Trail gone all soft?
We're testing the X-Trail DCI 130 4x4 Tekna. The car's weight and towing limit show no signs of wimpiness. Nissan quotes a range of curb weights from 1580 to 1615 kilograms, not including the driver, a respectable 2-ton towing limit and a 100 kilogram maximum nose weight.
It's under the bonnet that you can make a case for the X-Trail not being tough enough. It's powered by the 1.6 litre diesel already familiar from the smaller, lighter Qashqai, but in the X-Trail it has a lot more car to shift. We've matched the Nissan to a Sprite, weighing over 1400 kilograms. On hills, the engine proves surprisingly capable and willing to hold speed, but when you want a decisive punch of acceleration, you get a gentle push instead.
We recorded a 30 to 60 time of 16.3 seconds. The flip side to this steady pace is very impressive economy. We achieved 30.7 mpg, towing the Sprite on a mixed route of A roads and motorways. Although the engine isn't especially powerful, in two-wheel drive mode, traction can be an issue.
Even in the dry, we found it quite easy to spin the X-Trail's front wheels in two-wheel drive mode. In fact, the X-Trail tows much better if you select Auto, which varies the torque split between the front and rear wheels automatically.
Despite rather soft suspension, stability at speed is good. In the lane change test, we found the car's electronic aids intervened surprisingly early. That's not necessarily a bad thing, as with stability control switched off, we could feel some pushing and shoving from the Caravan. Inside, the X-Trail is well finished. It's roomy too, with almost as much legroom in the second row as you'd find in a Honda CR-V. A third row of seats is optional, but head and legroom are very tight, and even when folded away, the seats take up luggage space, reducing the boot capacity from 550 litres to 445.
So, has the X-Trail gone all soft? Well, no, not really. A few rough edges have been rounded off to make the car more refined and more practical than its predecessor. It tows well too, although a stronger engine would make a good tow car an even better one.
Haven't you finished testing that yet?
There's more to this testing than just messing about on a racetrack, you know. You're watching a professional at work.
Well, I'm afraid we've come to the end of the first part of the show, but don't go away because we'll be back in a few minutes with plenty more great tow car tests, including this one if David ever gets it finished.